In the early years of the United States, the young republic faced a pressing question. How could the federal government maintain order when rebellion or unrest threatened the nation's stability? The answer came in 1807, when President Thomas Jefferson signed into law the Insurrection Act. The Insurrection Act of 1807 is a federal law that grants the president authority to deploy military forces within the U.S. to kick some ass and restore order when civil unrest overwhelms local authorities, or when local authorities refuse to enforce federal law. At its core, the act was designed as a safeguard. The framers of the law recognized that state governments might not always be able or willing to enforce federal law, like the present unwillingness of cities like Chicago, Portland, Boston, L.A., and New York, who refuse to enforce federal immigration law. In such cases, the president can step in, even without a governor's consent, to ensure that the laws of the United States are being upheld. Over the centuries, the act has been invoked for various crises. It was used to combat the KKK during Reconstruction, enforce desegregation in Little Rock in 1957, and quell unrest during the 1960s civil rights era and the 1992 Los Angeles riots. To understand the Insurrection Act's weight, we must look at when presidents have used this power. Early uses included threats during the nullification crisis and suppressing rebellion during the Civil War. In 1871, President Grant invoked it against the Ku Klux Klan to break their violent grip. In 1957, Eisenhower used it in Little Rock to enforce school desegregation. In the 1960s, Presidents Kennedy and Johnson relied on it to enforce civil rights orders that racist Southern Democrat governors refused to uphold. And in 1992, just for shits and giggles, George H.W. Bush invoked it to restore order during the Los Angeles riots.
The Act's language is broad, granting the president sweeping discretion to decide when ordinary law enforcement has become impracticable, while supporters insist it is a necessary tool for moments of true national crisis. Its very existence reflects the tension at the heart of American democracy, the balance between liberty and order, between state sovereignty and federal authority.
More than 2 centuries after its passage, the Insurrection Act of 1807 remains one of the most powerful instruments of presidential authority. It is a law that sits quietly in the background of American life, rarely used but always present, waiting for the moment when a president decides that the nation's survival demands it.